Sean Murphy to break.
So Sean Murphy's made his 8th century of the tournament. He's 3rd of the final, he's 2nd in as many frames. But he's still trailing 10-5 to Judd Trump. Of course, did all his damage early on in this match. And indeed early on this evening when he pulled away to 10-3. But I guess if it is to turn round, it's going to be one visit stuff, which Sean Murphy has just demonstrated he can certainly pull off with the best of them.
Well, when you miss that ball to the top jaw, the red is coming back towards the cue ball. You're never sure. But he's not necessarily had a great rub of the green tonight, I don't think, Murphy, but he may have got away with that one. Got to play a different red here, Trump. Maybe a double. It's an amazing shot because he had to really watch that cue ball. He had to ensure the cue ball, A, finished on the black, and B, finished in front of that red, covering by the blacks, because, you know, and all that's enough usually to make you miss the double.
Well, time sort of stood still there, didn't it? Everyone was just watching that red to see if it was on target.
No, it was a very good shot.
So this is his chance to get it won.
8. Nine. Sixteen. 17. 24. 25.
And again, that cue ball just races on, which means he might have to play a lower value colour. I mean, he can play the blue, but what he'd be thinking about was maybe getting behind that red up the table, which means yellow again. Just a question of getting the screw right here, and he hasn't done it. Wanted to be on it in the middle.
Seven. 20.
He's lost the cue ball a tiny bit, but not too bad. And if the black goes in, and there's always the danger, you put so much into hitting the bunch that you can miss these blacks. And he played it gently. If anything, too gently. Often Judd will go in
35.
in a big way into the bunch, and now nothing's really open, so the break probably ends. No plants appear to be there.
I'm sure he would have loved to have won with another century, but
Judge Trump.
bottom line, just
35.
wants to win. 35 the lead. It's open reds up, so be looking realistically for one more opening now, Trump. They've left a chance here, though, for Sean Murphy. Well, on another day, I guess Murphy covers that, but he did miss the red, so it could have finished anywhere.
He might have played his last shot, mightn't he? I think a lot will depend on this next shot on one of the bolt colours. If he can land behind that red at the base of the cluster of, how many, 8 into the right corner, then you feel that it could be close to the end, this match, this final. I don't think he feels he's quite right on any of the bolt colours here. A bit straight on the yellow to get there. The brown, you have to punch it around. The angle's fairly wide. So back to the yellow. He'd have to, I think, force this to get down the left side. He wants to be on the left of the table rather than the right of the table. But to do it off the yellow, he'd have to really stun it hard. So he's back on the brown. Played a very delicate little shot positionally. If this goes, that is a very good shot indeed. Better than it might have looked. Perfectly played. And you kind of know the blue might be in the way of 2 cushions on that shot. You can see the area. You can see why he wanted to finish on that side. 3 reds all lined up.
Well, it's a very exciting time for the game, and indeed for the top players. Judd Trump will be 35 next month. That was the age Ray Reardon was when he turned professional. The opportunities were not there in the 1960s, but he and the players of that time were the ones who created the opportunities for the players that came after them. And in turn, those players have gradually raised the bar in terms of standard and indeed taken the game around the world. Of course, we lost Ray this weekend, very sadly, but he's established a fine legacy in the game, and the modern players, of course, are trying to do the same. Judd Trump targeting yet another tournament win here.
On the brink now, and especially if the pink goes here, you can just see enough of the pink to pot it, so very close to the winning line. And the Shanghai Masters is not on his CV currently as a win, and he won most other things all around the world, so it would be something he would enjoy greatly. And he's on the verge. It's been something O'Sullivan has won for many years now, this tournament, whether it be a ranking event or invitational. This is a tricky one, just to get the pink right in behind its own spot. That looks spot on, doesn't it? Maybe just a fraction to the right, but that's all. Yeah, it's been a terrific event. High prestige. And like you say, a great way to kind of start the season. And there's already been an event, but a lot of terrific snooker to come over the next few months up until the World Championships. But this is a high-profile tournament, and Judd Trump has been by some margin the better player.
Well, this is the ball, the blue, that will get him to the snooker's required stage. He's always loved coming to Shanghai. He's lost 3 finals here, including 2 deciders.
34.
But barring a snooker, he's going to get his hands on that trophy. But Murphy will get the chance to play for it.
34.
Yes, he'll come back to the table. And of course, one snooker, not impossible, if the right opportunity came his way. I think with the red below the black there, in fact there's 2 there, but Judd will not be feeling he's over the line just yet, because if you give a chance, then the snooker is very easy on either of those reds if it becomes the last red that are below the black. Anyway, we're not at that stage yet, but the match isn't quite done and dusted. Say 99% done and dusted, given that he's still 5 frames in front also. The target is 11, not 10.5. Need to land on something big.
1.
You're going to have to play the blue. Can't afford to give any more points over playing anything low value.
Yeah, but now, if he pots the blue, be 63 behind, 59 on. So it's effectively 2 snookers, really. But in fact, it'd be 62, wouldn't it? So it'd still be 1, but even so, it's got to go in. And it hasn't.
Show Murphy, 1.
Yeah, Murphy will not just shake hands, he'll allow Trump to have the victory lap, if you like. These are the moments you dream of, aren't they, as a player? The match is won. You're at the table and you know that when the break ends, if it ends before a clearance, then your opponent is going to shake your hand. So these are the moments you dream about in snooker.
Well, he won 5 ranking titles last season. This isn't a ranking event, but it's one very highly prized because of its elite nature.
7.
And Judd Trump will have it on his CV, and it will be his 40th professional title. And he's played terrifically well. Beat Mark Williams, Si Jiawei, of course, Ronnie O'Sullivan, 10-3. Ronnie, the man here in Shanghai, winning the last 4. But Trump came through that one comfortably and made the great start to the final, 7-1, and then again the great start to the second session, winning the first 3. And after that, it just looked inevitable he would get over the line.
21.
The first of how many this season? That's the question. There's plenty of titles to contend for.
Yes, and I think he'll play in most. You know, he plays in, without naming the events that are not as big as this Shanghai Masters, he'll put all his effort into the ones he does play in, because he's won a lot of them before, so he always goes out there with a view to winning each event like it's the biggest
29.
that he can win.
31.
Yeah, he sees a trophy, he wants to win it. It's a great attitude. It's the attitude the great players have always had.
I mean, he generates a phenomenal amount of cue speed. So much cue power. The cue comes through so quickly. I think it comes around his body a little bit. And that's why he can play all these extraordinary shots. Physically, other players just can't play them because they can't get that cue moving with the same speed through the ball.
Judd Trump makes a perfect start to the new snooker season. And for the first time, he is the Shanghai Masters champion. He made a record 10 centuries in the tournament, 3 in the final. Did all the damage early on against Shaun Murphy, taking a 7-1 lead. And again, when the final session got underway, he won the first 3 frames. Shaun Murphy rallied. He made 3 centuries himself, but it's Judd Trump, the victor here in Shanghai, by 11 frames to 5.